they dropped the ball on Drew. And listen, bro, I know it was during COVID and all that. I get it. I understand. But from my seat, Drew did absolutely everything asked of him, and they booked him like crap.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, speaking of hands in the pants, I got my hands in my hip, and I'm about to shoot from it, ladies and gentlemen. Drew McIntyre has not renewed his contract in WWE. Rumors running rampant of what's going on with Drew. Is he not happy with how he's been booked? Is the money not right? Is this and that? You know how the internet is. And yeah, so
make things up.
Yes, absolutely. Just make things up. So I've even seen a graphic of him. Oh, can we see Drew McIntyre at All In since he's, you know, since he's Scottish? Maybe his UK neighbor would invite him at Wembley Stadium, and just a lot going on. What do you think, Ace?
When is that Wembley show?
August the 27th.
I mean, what do I think? Hell, Drew's one of the toughest dudes I've ever fought. Drew's one of the toughest dudes I ever went toe-to-toe in a bottle of whiskey with. Drew's awesome. A celebrated hand. One of the best, quote, brothers you're ever going to find. Drew, one thing he did very well, too, was create himself without the machine behind him to get the machine back behind him. Yeah. So if he needs to seek creative fulfillment, he's not going to struggle financially. He'll do quite well as far as the security and, you know, the lineage, the prestige of being within the WWE. Sometimes going away isn't the worst thing to do, to always come back, too.
That's what he did, yeah.
I mean, he's, in theory, sign, have great money, live a great life, but doing the same thing over and over again. He's still young. I think he's 37. So if he wants to, he can control his narrative, so to speak. Choose to go elsewhere, and then that door is probably going to be wide open 6 months to a year, where he can Claymore kick it back down, and instantly you're fresh, you're hot, and you're on top once again. So maybe that's his way to the top where he does belong, is to take a leave for a little bit.
Vince, does Drew stay or does he leave, in your opinion?
Bro, I got to tell you something, man. There is no reason in the world that Drew could not have had the success that Roman Reigns had. Okay? They dropped the ball on Drew. And listen, bro, I know it was during COVID and all that. I get it. I understand. But from my seat, Drew did absolutely everything asked of him, and they booked him like crap. The way this guy looks, the way he carries himself, the presentation, he could have been just as ridiculously over as Roman Reigns if booked correctly. So, bro, what it really comes down to is, like EC3 says, bro, the guy's done well. The guy has made a lot of money. He is a star. To me, he is one of these guys that could easily cross over into entertainment. But I gotta think, bro, that Drew may have that creative itch to want to do things his way. So let's look at it, bro. You've got this big show at Wembley. They've got to put the fannies in the seats. If I'm Drew, this is a great opportunity because you can use me on that show. I'm a guy jumping from WWE, but I am going to dictate the creative, and we are going to get that in writing. I would love to see Drew creatively book himself because I mean EC3 knows. I've talked to him a couple times too, Chris. There's no question in my mind. This is a very highly intelligent guy. I would love to see him write his own story. So, bro, to me, I would love to see him take that jump.
I think if Drew took the jump, I think that he would be in a much more valuable position than he is now. I mean, I'm a big fan of Drew as far as just a company guy. You know what I mean? Like just really willing to roll with the punches. I respect that, in him. I do think that, to your point, Vince, he has been just grossly misused. Yes, he was COVID champion, but I mean, at the end of the day, the 6 months or so that he was champion during COVID, it was in front of zero fans. He actually won the match, and there was nobody in the arena, other than the production team. So he won it in the empty arena, and then he had it during a bunch of screens, around, the arena. So he never had that opportunity to really get that fan energy. And it was a right move of him winning because he was a heelish, and he was going over to the baby face. And that pivotal moment was when he kicked Brock Lesnar out of the ring for that Royal Rumble. One of the most deafening ovations and reactions to a Royal Rumble moment ever in the Royal Rumble history. And I think that was the moment where you're like, man, this guy's just blazing hot right now. You got to cash in. You can't, he can't do nothing about, a pandemic happening and, and causing it to Mania to be canceled. But I think they could have made it happen again. I mean, like, he chased the title to go against Lashley at WrestleMania, just to lose the last year of WrestleMania. I keep saying the pivotal moment for Drew to me is when he lost cleanly to Roman Reigns at Survivor Series. I can't stand. I'm glad that Triple H changed that concept of making at least a stipulation. For years, it was just brand versus brand. There was no build, no meaning, no titles, just nothing.
And he had to wear the shirts.
The shirts.
Right.
Yeah, you just have people losing cleanly for no reason.
Yeah.
And when Drew lost cleanly to Reigns, that was horrible. When Big E lost cleanly to Reigns, that derailed him too, I think. And stuff like that just was a horrible idea. I think when Drew lost to Reigns, to me, I think that was the beginning of just a downward spiral as far as that blaze, that fire just kind of being diluted.
But Chris, on the other side of the coin, the only thing you got to be aware of, buyer beware, and I'm sure Drew is looking at this. Bro, look what happened with Rusev. He should have went there for all the same reasons and look what happened to him, So that's why I'm saying he should get it in writing.
I think with Rusev though, he was placed. From the gate. He was just miscast. I mean, he came in as Kip Sabian's video game best friend. I mean, what? Come on, man. That was horrible.
Stupid.
Yeah, that was absolutely horrible.
I verbatim remember Tony Khan saying, "I'm going to make Rusev the biggest star in the game."
Yep.
So,
okay, we're going to make you a biggest star by making you Kip Sabian's best friend. I mean, that's just a horror. And they tried so many other times because basically what they created, they destroyed from the very beginning. And then they try to recreate what they destroyed. And by that time, people are just like, okay.
Well, too, sometimes I wonder, like, when you come in with that hope and promise, and then the creatives at what point, because the systems can beat you down. The WWE especially probably beat him down where he comes in optimistic, fresh, ready. That's kind of how it starts, where he's just like, dude, I don't care. I have a guaranteed contract. Whatever. My wife's hot. Like, we're happy.
Yeah.
Like, it was there that urge and that fight within him to be like, no, this is stupid. Here's what we need to do. Or did he just, whenever you're paying me, I don't care.
Yeah, and he's got a successful, Twitch channel too. So he's banking on that too. So he's pretty much at home, getting paid, doing other endeavors, and
what does he do, bro? He does video games on Twitch.
I think he does like just a typical, video games and doing Q&A from the audience. Typical, like the same thing as like Paige did and Adam Cole. You know what I mean? Like they did. So yeah, I mean,
reading philosophy books.
Yeah, there you go. Black did it too. Alistair, Malachi Black. He had a pretty good Twitch channel too. Him and Zelina Vega, they both had a good Twitch channel. For a while, Zelina had to take hers away and stuff like that, and just, or at least kind of be quiet on it. So, was there any like Twitch or other, video games or other income like restrictions that Vince put on you, EC3, or just anyone?
I think it was coming down from the office, but my brain was so checked out, and like that was something that would have completely escaped me. But like I said, during that time, I was creating join.freec3.com, nutrition and training app, and doing outside things, and they were like, small office people were like, "Oh, I don't know if you should do that." I'm like, I got to do something. I sit at home. I have a brain dead concussion. I have no guarantees in life. Like, I can't make something on my own.
Yeah.
Well, I guess whatever.
It doesn't make any sense because it's like you're creating a brand because they're not creating a brand for you, but they don't want to create when they don't want you to create the brand.
In hindsight, Catch-22, they also are, in theory, responsible for your celebrity and fame. So if you're creating things that you monetize based on who you are with their platform, a boss is going to be like, well, where's my cut? So I kind of get that too.
Yeah. Well, at least give you the opportunity to make the money for them to get a cut. What I mean? That's my thing. Like, at least give you, and then when you leave, then you take it all. What I mean? Then you go into your branding.
Like, here's the thing too, especially if it's not going well and you're, low card, mid card, hate every day. You can show up, it sucks. You're miserable. You're, force feeding yourself at catering because you're just so sad. Like, you need something outside the industry to kind of take your mind off of like, this is what I love and I hate it. Mm-hmm. So like building things or having outside interests, just at the end of the day though, it's a business, man. And I'm a business man.
You're such a businessman that you're improving the National Wrestling Alliance by being its national heavyweight champion.